World Trade Center, demolition versus natural collapse. For a natural pancake collapse to have occurred, meaning that the building collapsed on its own, from damaged or weakened steel, floor by floor, each floor should have collapsed at the rate of about half a second each, and should not have collapsed in any less than about a quarter of a second during a natural pancake collapse at full speed. Therefore, in a natural pancake collapse, each 110-story building should not have come down faster than approximately 55 seconds to no less than 27.5 seconds unless demolition was involved. It is therefore impossible for the towers to come down in 10 to 20 seconds at freefall to close to freefall speed, depending on which video is used to time the collapse and how it is timed. Almost everything, except the steel, was pulverized, including concrete, office equipment and furniture, indicating the presence of powerful charges. Large pieces of the steel structure can be seen being ejected from the building. Small bone fragments were blasted onto rooftops blocks away, something that would not have been possible from the impact of a jetliner or from a natural pancake collapse. The World Trade Center was built to withstand the impact of a Boeing 707 jetliner, which is close to comparable to a Boeing 767. Some engineers even believed that the building could sustain multiple large jetliner impacts. The large core of each tower contained 47 massive steel columns along with a grid of steel surrounding the building. Each steel truss was both bolted and welded in place to the structure. In 1993, the North Tower withstood an explosion from 1,500 pounds of explosives. For the World Trade Center towers to have come down as fast and as perfectly as they did could have only been due to controlled demolition. Furthermore, this is even directly supported by a maintenance employee along with firefighters and others who stated there were multiple explosions going off in the basement. At the ground level, windows were blasted out, people were seriously injured in the basement with burns, one man with skin hanging off his face, some with broken bones, even killed when these explosions were going off at the basement level. This could not have been from a fireball somehow going down the elevator shaft, being it was hermetically sealed and regardless would have been impossible to travel over 80 stories. Then there is Building 7, where even if fires were raging for hours and gutted the building, even if it sustained significant damage on one side, it still would not have collapsed as quickly and as perfectly as it did. Steel-framed high-rise buildings have been common for more than 100 years. There have been hundreds of incidents involving severe fires in such buildings, and none have led to a complete demolition-style collapse, or even partial collapse of support columns. One Meridian Plaza fire in Philadelphia raged for 18 hours, gutted 8 floors of the 38-floor building. The 1988 First Interstate Bank fire in Los Angeles burned out of control for 3.5 hours and gutted 4 floors of the 64-floor tower. Both of these fires were far more severe than any fires seen in Building 7, but those buildings did not collapse. The Los Angeles fire was described as producing no damage to the main structural members. If this was somehow due to some unknown design or structural defect in each building, this could have easily been confirmed through a proper, thorough independent investigation. Parts of the building could have been reconstructed just as a crashed airliner would have been reconstructed after a plane crash. For example, TWA Flight 800, a Boeing 747 exploded mid-air, then crashed into the ocean, where the NTSB was able to fully reconstruct the plane to find the cause of the explosion and crash. In this case, even with bodies still lying in the rubble, the steel was promptly removed and shipped to China to be recycled. It is also interesting that the BBC had reported the collapse of Building 7, 20 minutes before it actually collapsed, and CNN had also reported the collapse of Building 7 before it actually collapsed. WTC 7 was even still standing in the background of each news broadcast. However, the government, the media and self-proclaimed debunkers would like you to believe that on this one day, this event defied history, science, logic and reason.